morning and welcome to another episode of Iconic Freedom, the formula. We're setting a standard for accountability and responsibility. Let each care for self and all will be cared for.
Chris, wait, please.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, that didn't look good in there, but if you could just let me
Did you
explain,
really think I wouldn't notice I was only getting half a date? And never mind me. How could you do that to Angela?
There wasn't another night. You're leaving soon, and I wasn't gonna let it slip by without at least trying to make something happen. I mean, if you do nothing will ever change.
Don't throw my words back at me.
I thought some time together would be better than none at all.
Yeah. It's really not. Not like this.
Wait, Chris, please wait. I really did want to see you. I have something that I wanted to give you. That is the number and address for one of Chicago's biggest magazines. It's a long story, but I know someone who knows someone who works there, and well, she talked to her boss, and I got you an interview.
An interview?
Yeah, to be one of their photographers. Isn't that perfect? You could get into photography without having to go into freelance. And the best part is that he can meet with you next week. I got you in right before the Christmas break, so it's all scheduled and everything. You just have to show up.
What is this?
I wanted to help you move forward.
What makes you think I need your help?
You don't have to go. I was just trying to give you options.
Oh. So this is supposed to be for me?
What's that supposed to mean? I was trying to be helpful.
No. You were trying to make me your perfect dream guy. I'm not gonna pretend to be someone I'm not just for you.
You just seemed miserable at your other job, and I didn't want you to have to go back to that. Sorry.
Because you know what's best for me. Because that's the only way you fit into my life. And I need you to fix it for me.
You're wrong, you know. You were heartbroken and miserable when I met you, but heaven forbid anyone actually try to help you. No, you have to do all of it on your own, right?
Your help looks an awful lot like desperation. Stop meddling in other people's lives, and why don't you try finally living your own?
Here we go with part 2 of A Christmas Match, kind of dissecting this Christmas movie that I had seen last weekend. What a great scene, right? I really liked it. I thought it was very fascinating. She doesn't want to own, of course, the manipulation and all the garbage that she's been doing. If you listen to last week's podcast, you'll hear that dissecting of and that breakdown of how people like to appear and virtue signal that they're helping other people, but in reality, they're really helping themselves. We've talked about that before, where off the backs of other people, they're getting their jollies, thinking, oh, look at me, I'm such a good person, look what I'm doing all these things for you. And then if you say you don't want their help, I can't believe you would behave that way. Look at all I've done for you. I mean, so one of the things that I said last week was that, you know, the person that is the victim is really the person that is the bully. And it's very interesting because to most people that would be observing something, they would see it as, you know, oh, that poor individual. But that's because that's how they see themselves. People that have a higher level of health, that don't see the world through that filter, look at it and realize that this person is playing a game. And that, you know, really and truly, they're playing the victim is really them manipulating and controlling other people. This gentleman, her brother, her mother, her friend. I mean, you see it throughout the entire movie. that that's what she's really doing throughout the whole thing, because she has a need to control. So she starts limiting choices and all that kind of stuff and making, people's lives kind of miserable in the end, all because she's trying to control an outcome. And she's got her own self-interest. And you'll see a later scene that I post on part of this podcast. It kind of reveals that, which is kind of interesting. But this scene was outside of a restaurant where she'd been on a date with this gentleman, and she'd been playing games with him and jumping between the date with her and throwing the bachelorette party for her friend, who, by the way, didn't want a bachelorette party. She just wanted to hang out with her friend. But, again, she's playing a game. You watch it happen. You can see the manipulation going on. You can see the game playing going on. And what's interesting about this character, this gentleman, is that he calls her out on it. Again, I hardly ever see this go on in movies where somebody will actually call out somebody else on their behavior, and not in a way that they're trying to, tell them off or, that kind of stuff. Because you see that a lot, where people are wanting to do that. They just want to tell off the other characters and, they want to have their moment. But that's not really what he's doing. What he's really doing is he's unmasking her for who she really is. And he makes the comment, there towards the end, he's like, oh, so you know what's best for me. And it's kind of the theme that runs throughout this entire movie, is that she continues to go down that road thinking that she knows what everybody else wants, when in fact, it's none of her business. I mean, to be honest, it's like, let each care for self and all will be cared for. But instead, because she has a self-interest, she wants to be in love. It's the same theme with all of these Christmas movies, these Hollywood Christmas movies, right? She wants to be in love. She wants to find the guy. She thinks she's a good person. If I'm a good person, then I'm entitled to find the right guy. It's again, you hear these themes, right? As we talk about this, all the things that we've talked about this whole year, going through the podcast and dissecting these things and defining them and setting that standard of understanding what accountability and responsibility is, it all comes to fruition in these movies, in television, in the media. You see it throughout, these subtle manipulations that, when people are able to pull at your heartstrings, then they're able to play the game. They're able to market to you. They're able to manipulate to you. Come on, Instagram and, Facebook and Twitter. These things social media are filled with this kind of stuff. If they can hook you in, and they got to hook you in, and not by a 2-hour movie, they want to hook you in within 10 seconds, within 15 seconds, within 30 seconds. And if they can do that, then they can get you to do something. Well, if somebody's trying to get you to do something, what is that? Well, it's manipulation. We talk about here on the podcast, I'm not trying to get anybody to do anything. I'm just pointing out the reality of what accountability and responsibility is and setting a standard. If you want that, if you want something different in your life, then you will take up the gauntlet. If you're not interested, then you're not interested. But I'm not trying to get you to do anything. I'm not trying to take away your choice. The whole aspect of freedom of the individual is to have choice, to design and create the life you want, free from manipulation, free from control, free from the idea that you have to be caretaking others. What's interesting about this movie is that this girl spends an awful lot of time caretaking other people who never asked her to caretake them. And how interesting it is that throughout the movie, and especially closer to the end, people start calling her on it, and she has to face the music.
Because I thought I had been pretty clear about what I wanted. A part of me isn't even surprised.
What's that mean?
You were always going to do whatever you wanted to do.
That's not fair. I've done absolutely everything to make this wedding perfect for you.
I don't care about it being perfect. Or how many tiers my wedding cake has, or whether my shoes match my earrings, or whether the venue has blue Christmas lights or white Christmas lights. But I have to care, because you care.
That's what being a bride is, Angela.
No, that is what your dream of being a bride is like, because let's face it, that's what this is all really about, isn't it? You don't have your guy in your wedding, but you can pretend through mine.
It's not true, you know. And you know that I love you, and I just want to help.
You don't just help. You take over. And you steamroll over everyone else because you always think you know what's best. And...
And once again, we're at the same theme for this particular character where, another person is calling her out saying basically what the reality is that it's all about you. This isn't about me. This isn't about my wedding. This is about you. And then she even calls her out to say, you don't have the guy. You don't have the relationship that you want. She doesn't have anything that she wants. And the biggest reason why she doesn't have what she wants is because of her game playing. And people recognize it. Look, no person of health is going to look to another person of ill health and want to be with them. So just to dispel that myth that goes on in these stories, that's just not going to happen. If you're a damaged individual, all you're going to find are other people that are damaged. You're going to find that's how it works. The healthy guy is not going to save you from your unhealthy choices. The healthy girl is not going to save you from your unhealthy choices. That's not the nature of what accountability and responsibility is. And when you start to make choices where you are making healthy choices in terms of I own my choices and I will respond to those choices and I will do so without harm to others. Harm to others is controlling and manipulating them. When you move to that place, you will find that there is a huge change that happens in your life. And unfortunately, this girl still can't get it.
Hey, I brought the rings.
Thanks.
Okay, don't think about it, just do it.
Was there something else?
Yeah. We left things in a really bad place last night, and I really want to apologize and explain everything, but it's a wedding, and it's kind of crazy, and so just for today, can we put it behind us for Angela and Spencer, and then tomorrow can we talk? What time do you have to leave for the airport?
Got my flight moved up to tonight, so I'll be leaving as soon as the wedding's over.
Really?
Figured it's best if I didn't stick around.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I have some things I have to say to you, and if this is my only chance, please. Look, I'm really, really sorry about last night. It was presumptuous of me to force that interview on you, and I had absolutely no right to butt into your life like that. But, well, I've had a very long night to think about everything that you said. And you were right. About everything. especially about me. It's like you said, I should just be honest with how I feel. And I like you. Chris, I like you a lot. And I'm so ready to stop trying to control everything and just see where this goes.
I think we've seen that that's not a good idea.
Well, at least I tried.
See you at the wedding.
Bye, Chris.
Again, I really enjoy these scenes where, this guy is willing to call her out on it. Didn't completely, but I mean, he did shut the door in her face, which I thought was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny myself. Because, again, she was using her emotion to try to manipulate him. She says, oh, I'm ready not to be controlling. Well, if you're ready not to be controlling, then why are you having an emotion about this? Why are you going down this road? Because you can't manage yourself? And if you can't manage yourself, then why would this guy be interested in you? The idea somehow that if you appear to be vulnerable to somebody, that they're going to see the goodness in you and they're going to save you. Okay, listen, if you want to be in that kind of a relationship, you should do that. But if you want to be healthy and you want to have a healthy relationship with other people, not just a love relationship, but family and friends, then it requires you to be accountable and responsible. And the best way for you to know that is to realize when you're being controlling and when you're being manipulative. And understanding that your control and your manipulation are born out of a self-interest that you have. I don't know what that is. I don't know what your motivation is. And I don't know her motivation in a sense, but we can tell just by kind of deciphering what this story is all about.
The stars are so lovely.
Well, contrary to popular belief, turns out you can be mistaken.
I can, can't I?
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you.
I don't think I'm the one that's disappointed.
You just couldn't help yourself, could you? I understand you enjoy fabricating these little love stories and maneuvering couples together. But what gives you the right to interfere with other people's lives? What makes you think that just because you decided that two people should be together, it would actually work? People don't need your advice to be happy.
Are you angry because I pushed you together? Or because it didn't work out?
I didn't ask for your meddling. I'm the one who decides what I do or don't want.
Yes. Yes, you are. Good night.
And of course, this is how the story wraps up, which I think is interesting. There's another portion to this that gets all sappy, and I'm not even going to go through that. You can watch it yourself if you want to see this movie. But the thing that I liked about this scene was that, the aunt or whoever she is, she owns it. Yeah, I could be mistaken. You are correct. And whatever her intentions were, she at least takes some ownership of that. He, once again, stands with the idea that, I should be able to choose my life and not have other people try to choose my life for me. And she agrees. And it's interesting that she asks him the question, are you upset because it didn't work out or because, I got involved somehow? And I think that's a fascinating premise. I hope you enjoyed kind of going through this exercise. I do find shows every once in a while that I like doing this with, and I'll do it in the future with some TV shows maybe and some other movies, because believe me, there is tons of it out there. Hey, thanks for coming by and hanging out with me for this time. If you don't mind hitting that like button and share it with your friends and family. You never know how it might help them. Hope you enjoy your holiday season, and I will be here next week with another podcast. Make it a good week.